Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Skyrim Gaming, and Skyrim is an old game, but yet people still compare it to the newer games such as Witcher 3. Even though Skyrim stands a good chance, its graphics don't. Even the special edition graphics perish in comparison to the Witcher 3 graphics. But luckily for us, Skyrim has one of the biggest, if not the biggest, modding community. There is a ridiculously massive amount of mods. You can practically mod every aspect of the game. And one of the most common aspects to mod are the graphics. But there are so many graphic mods to choose from, you might have a little bit of trouble, and most of the mods require a beast, not a PC, to run them. Hence, today, I will show you how to make your Skyrim look next gen without ENBs. Most of these mods will have a pretty big performance hit on your PC, so I will display the performance in the bottom right corner using green, yellow, and red boxes. I take it you can guess which color means good performance and which means bad. Let's start off with general textures. Noble Skyrim 2K is a texture pack that is second to none. It changes most of the textures in the game, but only slightly to give them a new feel. It makes Skyrim feel more medieval by having cities more texture organized. For example, Riften is now generally a darker color with brown roofs. So if you're tired of good old Skyrim, then try this mod out. Trust me, it'll feel like a brand new game. The only texture that this mod is lacking are the rocks. That's why I recommend Northfire's photoreal mountains to finish off the HD look for the game. Even though Noble Skyrim enhances the textures of the trees, they are still pretty generic. The trees in the game are all practically the same, which gets repetitive and boring to explore the woods. Well, fear no less, as the Skyrim Flora overhaul is here. This mod does improve the textures of the trees, but it focuses on adding variety to the flora in Skyrim. Now, you will see small pine trees as well as large. Some have bent tips because of all the snow that fell onto them, and now you will see pine trees in the rift for variety. While we are in the topic of flora, Verdant, a grass plugin, adds, well, grass, lots of it. You now have beautiful trees and a variety of them, but the ground itself is still pretty barren. Verdant fixes that by adding a plugin that increases the size and the amount of grass you see. But where there is no grass, there is snow. There are two mods that I would recommend. The first mod is Nordic Snow. It simply improves the texture of the snow to high definition textures. Footprints complement this mod very well. It's a simple plugin that allows the player and NPCs to leave footprints wherever they walked in the snow. This can add to some pretty interesting encounters, as sometimes you can see the enemy's footprints before you actually see the enemy, so you can prepare for a fight in advance. Now all aspects of the terrain are in good quality, so let's talk about water. Skyrim Special Edition's water is definitely better than the rubbery water we got in Skyrim, but it still can be improved, and Realistic Water 2 does a fantastic job at that. It increases the polygon count for water, making it look more realistic. Quite a simple change, but makes a massive difference. The weather needs improvement as well. and most people seem to favor weathers of Tamriel, but I prefer vivid weathers. This mod makes the weathers, well, more vivid and contrasting. If it's foggy, you'll know it's foggy. If it's raining, then the storm will almost look like it's night. But if it's sunny, then you will be greeted by a warm sun in the morning and a beautiful view during the day. The lighting in the game is still not the best, especially in the interiors. This is by far my favorite visual mod because lighting in the game is everything. Enhanced Lights and Effects does an outstanding job fixing the light sources in the game and making them realistic as well as warm. It darkens the corners where there is no light and makes only the light source emit light for contrast, unlike in the vanilla game. To add to the visuals, it adds more smoke to fire and candles to make the interior feel and look warm. It also has a plugin that improves the light sources outside, which I highly recommend you install because during the night, the cities will look even more alluring than at daytime. A good mod to pair with ELFX is Darker Nights. As the title says, it makes the nights darker. You do have the option of deciding how dark you want the game to be. I personally prefer to be at level 2, as 1 or 0 are too dark to see anything. Now it's time to focus on the characters of Skyrim. Windsong Immersive Character Overhaul aims to make all of the NPCs look high definition. It does that by smoothing out their faces and increasing the polygon count, and the difference is truly astonishing. For the weapons and armors, I use AMidianBorn Book of Silence. This mod changes the texture of the armors to high definition textures. It's a bit hard to explain, so just take a look. AMidianBorn also improves the texture of clothes, but I prefer to use Rustic Clothing. This mod makes all the clothes look higher definition. It makes the expensive clothes more flamboyant. Clothing such as fine clothes are now made out of different materials than regular clothes, and the king's robes or royal clothes are now covered in gold to show off their wealth. The next mod is pretty small but nevertheless makes a key difference. Book covers of Skyrim gives the books of Skyrim custom textures. Each book will now have its name printed on the front of the cover, and if the book is rare, then it will have a custom cover altogether. There is one more mod I would recommend, and that's Deadly Spell Impacts. I have shown off this mod before in my top 7 mage mods, so if you want to see side-by-side comparison, then check out that video. I'll leave it in the description below. But in a short explanation, that mod enhances the textures of these spell impacts. If you installed all the mods correctly, your game should now look next gen. Yes, an ENB would make the game look better anyway, but as I said, not everyone has a beast for a PC, so running an ENB is simply not an option for some of us. That's why I made this video, to help the ones who can't run an ENB. On this note, I will wrap up the video. If you enjoyed what you saw, then click the like button. If you want to see more, then consider subscribing, and click that bell icon to get notified every time I upload a video. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and as always, I'll see you next video.